Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, this channel is going to be following my journey this year, where I'm going to try and turn my very small garden into a kind of allotment substitute, because I missed out on sharing an allotment this year and I want to see, out of curiosity, what can I grow, how much can I grow in my small garden. Before I get to updating you on the things we sowed in the last video and also sowing some new things, we're going to go on a bit of an adventure. Today I'm meeting my friend Gabby, who has an allotment, who really inspired me with her allotment last year. We're going to do a little bit of seed swapping, and then hopefully, if the weather holds up, we're going to go and have a little look around her allotment, so I'll show you the beauty that is her allotment. So come along with us. I've even got really prepared and made my own seed packet. I just drew these up on my iPad, printed them out, glued them together, bish bash bosh. It was absolutely lovely going around to Gabby's, and it was really nice seeing her allotment in the winter, because I've seen Gabby's allotment in the summer a lot, or a fair bit, and it's full and there's insects and it's thriving, and you can't really see where one bed ends and another bed begins. It's very secret gardening. It's really lovely. It's really nice also to see it in the winter because you can see the bones of it, you can see the structure, and that's kind of where my head's at the moment, because as I'm planning how my own garden's going to be, it's heartening to see the bones of someone else's space, if that makes sense. So it was really nice to go around and have a little look around. She's still got things growing. She's got some beetroots, some kales, some herbs, some lamb's lettuce. There's loads going on, and I loved seeing a greenhouse. Oh, to have a greenhouse space like that, that'd be amazing. We did swap some stuff. So she took, I can't remember what she took. Took some flowers, a tomato, and she's given me in response, she saves a lot of her own seeds. So agastache, which is apparently really good for bees. So that'll be amazing. And that is packed full. Yeah, so she gave me a whole load of those. What else did I get? I got some Tommy Tumbler bush variety cherry tomatoes. This little seed packet thing came in really handy. So I've got some more bush tomatoes, which are going to be good for containers, which for my small garden is going to be amazing. These are seeds, again, that she saved herself, so I can't tell you where to buy those. Get yourself a friend like Gabby. I'm sure you'll be able to buy those still. So yeah, Tommy Tumbler bush variety. Oh, she gave me some echinacea, which are lovely flowers, great for pollinators, but also you can make like teas and things out of them, so that'll be interesting. They were mine. I gave her some agapanthus, which I rescued from my neighbour, some seeds. So I just took some of those back and gave her the rest. So that's what I got off Gabs, and we swapped some other things as well. So I'm going to sow some things today. The onions that we sowed in the last video have been doing really well. Let me go and get those and show you. So I'm going to be sowing these like Charles Dowding sows his, in clumps. So there's about 6 seeds in each module here. I've only sown them to here. So there's 2 varieties and there's about 5 or 6 in each module. When these grow big enough, I'm going to grow these outside in a clump, and I'll pick them from the clump as and when I need them. It's a method that I've heard from Charles Dowding, and it's one that I'm really interested in seeing if it works, because if it does, this should really help with saving space in the garden. So very interested in those, and I'm pleased with how they came up. So I sowed these on the 30th of January, and within a week they were practically this big, maybe just a little bit less. So yeah, I'm pleased with those. I might have started them a bit too early, who knows, but when you start early you kind of lose nothing but a couple of seeds, because you've got the rest of the year to sow a bit later. So I thought I'd start them and try them. Onions are apparently cold tolerant, so I'm trying to not, now that they're big enough, I'm not going to put a cloche over the top. I'm just going to harden them off in a colder room and kind of play it by ear. Keep an eye on the weather, maybe do some, like, put it outside through the day and bring it inside at night, harden them off. But so far they're staying in. Since seeing you last, I've been playing around with sprouting seeds. So if you don't know, sprouting seeds are things that you grow for like microgreens. So I did have some mung beans, which I've been growing in a jar. I don't have any to show you because I ate them all last night. Sorry about that. I should have thought ahead. I'll try and find an image on the internet of mung beans that have been sprouted and show you the kind of things that you can grow on your windowsill all year round. I love mung beans, sprouted mung beans. I think they're delicious. Great added to salad, great added to sauces like satay sauces. We've got a really nice tofu, peanut butter, soy sauce tofu meal that we do with noodles, and we just added it into that sauce, really nice. How I do them is I put them in a jar. Every day I put water into them, shake it around, and then rinse that off. I do have a bit of netting over the top, which I've put over the top of the jar with an elastic band. It makes it easier to drain it. So every morning I fill it with water, slosh it around, empty it out so they're still damp, put it on the windowsill. And I do that until they start to sprout and they're big enough to use. and it doesn't take long, like a week maybe. Hot off the success of those mung beans, I bought some of these, which are sprouting sunflowers. I've never thought about the idea of eating sunflower sprouts. I don't know if it's a certain type of sunflower that you can sprout, or you can eat the sprouts of all sunflowers, but I very messily just scattered them in an upturned Pringle tub. Other crisps are available. Mixed them up with a bit of soil, watered them, and they're starting to sprout now. And apparently you can eat those in salads when they're about 4 to 5 centimetres high. I don't know what they taste like, but what I like about things that you can grow on your windowsill, especially sprouts and microgreens, is that you can grow them all year round as long as you've got a little bit of warmth in your house and a windowsill. And it really kind of scratches that growing itch. When there's not a lot going on outside and there's not a lot you can put in the garden, you can still grow things inside. And all I've done is got some multi-purpose compost and put it in a Pringles tub, 2 holes in the bottom. I've used the lid as a little water catch. You could even use that as a little greenhouse if your house isn't super warm. And that's what I've done for those 2. And in this one, I've got some salad leaves. I thought I'd try and grow those on the windowsill as well, seeing as though I'm growing other things for salads. It'd be nice if I got some salad leaves. So this is a mixture of, not spinach, what is it? Rocket. It's a mixture of rocket. So I put a few of those in, and the rest is a bunch of oriental purple frills, which were left over from last year, year before. It did say sow by December 2024. So even though I'm slightly out of that bracket, I thought there's nothing to lose, so I've just lightly sprinkled what was left in there, and they are growing. What I'm doing to try and make sure that I don't get leggy plants that grow too far in one direction, because they will lean towards the sun, every day I'm just turning the tray at least once a day, but sometimes 3 or 4 times a day, because I'm in here. This is my home studio where I work, it's my office. So when I notice that they're starting to look like they're pulling to one side, I'll just rotate the little table that they're on, because they're only on a small TV table at the moment. And in my head, that should stop them growing too leggy towards one side. But, you know, they might not. But that's what I'm trying. So there's those. I will keep you updated and let you know how they turn out. Some other interesting things that I've been doing. Again, to scratch that itch for wanting to get some gardening done, I've been growing some scraps. These aren't scraps, this is cress. So this is another thing you can grow on your windowsill. I just grew it in a little glass bowl with some tissue paper on the bottom, keep them damp, and they grow up like that. I've just harvested some of them, which is why half of it's used up, half of it isn't. And they're just a really nice thing to grow on the windowsill. So yeah, other things I've been doing to scratch that gardening itch is trying to grow my scraps. I heard about this a long time ago. I tried it once in the past with a few spring onions, but not since. So every time I've been to the greengrocer, I've kept my scraps, and I'm trying to grow useful plants that I could maybe put in the garden from these scraps. These 2 are chard. Now don't get too excited by this, guys. These leaves, I left them on there. So far, I've not seen any roots develop on that. But it is staying green, and it does look like some new leaves are grown on the bottom. This is a chard that I was less careful with. Now these look like roots, but they're not, they're just from the leaves. But it's not dying, and once again, it looks like there's little leaves growing on the bottom. I will keep this in this water. It's just cut in a little bit of water. I'll keep that in there until these are very obviously not growing anymore, just to see what happens. Something that got a bit more success is my leeks. So these were cut right back to here, like the first cut down there, and I've just put them in a tiny bit of water, kept that topped up, and these have definitely grown roots, and they're definitely growing up as well. You can see where I sliced, the slice down there is from where I cut them up the middle to clean them. They are growing well past that cut line, and this is just in water. Again, there's another one there, little roots. Just keep water over the roots, and you should have success with those as well. I've got another leek that I'm going to use in tonight's dinner, so there's space in there for another little buddy for them. So hopefully these will get put in my garden and I'll have a couple of leeks to cut. I wonder if you cut leeks rather than pulling them up from the ground, if they grow like this as well. They must do. So maybe I'll try that in the summer when everything's warm and I can grow things in the garden. I'm so excited. This is what I've been doing with some scraps. If you've got any suggestions of things that I can do with other scraps that will make the food all over again, let me know. I'm big into that. I don't have a lot of window space, but at this time of year, it's just nice to see anything growing. Do you know what I mean? Okay, let me look through my little seed bush. I've tried to organise it in terms of months so I know what can grow when. February. What have I got? So I've got some peas from last year. I've got American Wonder Pea, extra early pedigree dwarf pea, Rosa Crown semi-dwarf pea. The Rosa Crown are really nice. They've got a really nice flower to them. Tomatoes are late February. I'm not going to push that because I've got nowhere to put tomatoes when they do start growing. And if I grow them too early, I've got to keep them inside and they do get quite big. And if I've got nowhere to put them outside, I do risk them getting damaged by colder weather. I've got some radishes for late February as well. They need to be sown outside. I will save those for later in February. Another tomato, some more tomatoes from last year. Oh God, so many tomatoes. There's not many of those. Yeah, so not those, but definitely the peas I can start. I'm going to put Gabby's tomato with these in the February section. I'll put those in. I don't know when Agapanthus and Echinacea get sown, but I imagine spring, late spring. All right, so peas. What does it say? Sow from mid-February to late May. It's the 12th of February today. It's mid-February, isn't it? Mid-February. So I'm going to grow these in toilet rolls. I'm not going to do too many. I'm going to maybe put a couple in each toilet roll, and I'll maybe do, how many types have I got? 1, 2. I'll do 2 of each variety. To stop the soil falling out of the bottom, I'm just going to cut a few slits on the bottom, fold them over. Secure it with a bit of paper tape. So let me get some soil. Good thing about toilet roll is that you can just write straight on them. So I'm sowing these now, but you can sow peas up until late May. So don't worry if you haven't done it yet. I might wait until early March to do my tomatoes. Might do them at the end of February, but that'll be in the next video. So I'm just going to water these and then cover them over with a cloche and see what happens. I can't always use the rest of those peas to grow sprouting peas, so to just use them as pea sprouts in salads and stuff, but we'll see where we go. I'm just going to water them. So there we are, all covered up, nice and safe. I'll keep them in there and watered along with these things, and I'll keep you updated to their progress. Thank you very much for joining me for today's video, and hopefully I will catch you in the next one. Let me know in the comments what you're up to at the moment. Is there anything that you're able to grow in the garden? What are your plans? What would you like to see this year? Anything you think I should do in the garden that I've glaringly mistakenly missed? Let me know in the comments and I will have a look and get back to you. But until the next video,